Improve the damn culture. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Emil. I want to welcome everybody to the Improve the Damn Culture show. And this show is going to be about our culture and how we can improve it. I'm going to identify some of the trash that we have. I would say our culture is basically all of trash because it's built on a horrible foundation, right? So we want to examine our culture and we want to find out ways that we're going to improve it. All right. I got questions for you. Are you guys tired of black culture and where it's going? Right. If you look at us in any area of activity, look at black culture and education. Where's it going? How are we progressing when it comes to education? What about entertainment? What about labor? What about law? What about politics? What about religion? And so much more. We're going to get into all that on this show. And this is my first YouTube channel. I'm just excited to be here. And I want to be here a few times a week so we can talk about this culture and we can find ways to improve it. Right. I'm 50 years old. Right. And I don't have, I'm not going to live forever. So why not start now on improving this culture? Right. And on this channel, we're going to be not only just talking about it, we're going to also come up with some solutions on how we can counter some of this horrible, atrocious culture that we call black culture, you know, hood life, living in the hood or even just being black, what we should do and what we shouldn't do. All right. I kind of want to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. Take a look here.
Let's make that clear. If I get into it with any nigga, on there, off there, in space, out of space, nigga, I'm blitzing. If I get into it with any nigga and we go to violent words and we talking violent, nigga, I'm getting cracking. I don't give a fuck about that job, nigga. No, I'm getting cracking. Nigga, that's just me personally.
Okay, that is just an example of what I'm referring to as black culture. You know, growing up in the hood, that's kind of normal. People talking like that. He sound like he's almost in prison. Because that's really what black culture is. It's a black culture is it's a mechanism that we use that we respond to racism. Now, some people say, like, what are you talking about racism, Emil? Here, what are you talking about racism? Well, I'm talking about racism. Racism, I'll give you a definition of what I think racism is, right? Racism is simply mistreatment of people based off of color, right? It's not because you're fat, it's not because you're skinny, it's not because you're gay, it's not because you're straight, it's not because you have long hair or short hair. It's mistreatment based off of color. So if you have color in your skin, you know, the people that's in a dominant society, right, they're allowed to mistreat you, right? Now, how do they mistreat you? They mistreat you in education, they mistreat you in entertainment, right? Look at all this mess that we have in entertainment. We didn't invent all this stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Like we're victims of it, right? You get mistreated and dominated, and also economics. And keep in mind, economics just isn't a way of making money. Economics is really time and energy and what you do with your energy, right? And what you do with your time, right? Right. Labor is another one. Law, politics, religion. Yeah, we're dominated and mistreated in religion. Some of my people, I asked a guy a question. I was on a podcast, you know, and the gentleman asked me, it's Passing the Torch podcast by a friend of mine named Trib. What's up, Trib? He asked me, um, what are the biggest problems we are having in society today, and it comes down to racism because we don't own or control anything, right? Anything, right? And when it comes to religion, right? He also asked me. I asked him, what are the greatest features that Black people have? Are there any positive features that Black people have? He had a hard time. you know. And he said our faith, you know. So how is our faith so good when our faith brings out all this non-constructive behavior that we have? So this is what this show is about. We want to talk about this. We don't want to be scared. We don't want to try to cover up, anything with lies. We want to be open and be naked and start from there so we can build our culture up from there, right? Right? We're mistreated and dominated and mistreated in sex. People don't even know what a man and a woman is nowadays. Not even close, right? And don't forget about war, right? Black people don't own any weapons. I'm not talking about the weapons you buy off. I'm not talking about any guns or little things like that. But there's weapons that they don't even have to use guns to take you out, right? They don't have to use guns, right? They could change the water system. That you got to buy food. You don't grow any food, and if you do, where you get your seeds from, and where you get your land from, and how are you going to control and stop people from coming on that land, huh? You remember Tulsa, right? We stopped for a little bit, worked for a little bit, but it didn't work for long enough because the government came in and dropped a bomb on their own people, right? Right? And don't forget about artificial intelligence. Yep. You're going to be contending with that in the near future if you're not doing that now, right? So black people are dominated and mistreated in all of these areas of activity, and the way we respond to it, that makes up our culture, right? The young man that we just seen when he was talking about he'll beat anybody up. Who do you think was he talking about? He wasn't talking about anybody that's classified as white. He was talking about people that are classified as black. That's what he was talking about. That's anger. And I'm not attacking this young man. I don't know him. He seemed to be a little upset and ready to go off on anybody that steps his way and that says anything that's a violent word to him, right? But we got to understand there's only one type of self-respect, right? And that's called self-respect. If you're gonna react off of anybody so-called disrespecting you, then you're gonna be fighting a lot of people, and you're not gonna be able to live in this outside world because you're gonna be locked up, right? You're gonna be locked up for either beating someone one up, or either you getting beat up yourself, or you killing somebody, or someone killing you, right? Hurting you really bad. So we can't let these words bother us, guys. Words are just words, right? Unless someone says a lie about you, then you can defend yourself, but you don't have to go and fight nobody over no words because you give that person the control to get you to react the way that they want you to react. And then if you do something, I already told you, you get dominated and mistreated when it comes to law, right? So if you do something and they call the police, the law is going to come. And if you fuss, fight, or flee in the law, you might not even make it home to your parents, right? Or home to your wife, or home to your children, or home to whoever you live with. Or if you even live it by yourself, you might not make it home, right? So these are the things that we want to discuss on this show. And you know, I'm gonna have a call number so you can call, and I want to talk to people just to get their opinion. But we need to develop a code of conduct for our young people, because right now we're depending on social media, we're depending on media, TV, and we're depending on this horrible culture to keep bringing our young ones up into. You got to think about it, y'all. Just think about it. Sharecroppers, my father, who just passed away, right? He wasn't a sharecropper, but he was a migrant worker in the South. He used to pick fruit and pick vegetables, and they were treated, horrible, no different than like a sharecropper, and before that was slavery, right? So these are the people that raised us. There's not too many generations far back that touches us. So the culture that was then is still now. We have not been repaired, right? So we got to start doing some things that's going to counter those type of those type of emotions and those type of non-constructive activities. All right. So what are we learning from this today? All right. The lesson I want to learn from, I want you guys to take away from today is there's only one type of respect, and that is self-respect. And I got this from a guy named Neely Fuller. Right. He's a guru when it comes to um, race relations and what racism is. So look him up if you're interested, because I use a lot of his material. Right? There's only one type of respect, and that is self-respect. Right? That's not lying to yourself. If you're not lying to yourself, you don't have to worry about what other people are saying to you. Let them get by saying anything they want to say. Right? Now, what's that going to do for you? Right? It's going to save you from getting in altercations 24/7, because there's going to be other people, probably the same people that look just like you, that's going to be saying something to you, looking at you, or doing something that's going to be considered so-called disrespect. Remember, many people die over disrespect, which I think is totally ridiculous, right? So don't even engage in that, guys, right? If someone says something, keep it moving like they never said anything at all. You don't have to stop unless they ask you a question. If they make a statement, they said what they said, right? You don't have to ask them to back that statement up. Just keep it on moving. All right. Improve the damn culture. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'm out.